I am here with one of my personal graduates, Alfred Jeddy. He has gone from 0 to 5 HMOs. I've got to say, it's been great seeing your journey over these last few years. Wow, 0 to 5 HMOs, so houses in multiple occupancy.
Yeah.
And am I right in saying that you've been able to do that literally using other people's money?
Yeah, literally from the beginning, I've managed to raise private investor finance, so that's how I've managed to scale quite rapidly in the last 2 years.
Fantastic, great. So let's go back. What were you doing before you decided to become a professional property investor? What did life look like? What were some of your challenges? Where was you?
So background is engineering, so I did a master's in aerospace engineering.
Wow.
Graduated, landed a contracting job at Jaguar Land Rover, working as a project manager. So I did that for about 5 years. To be honest, I think year one, maybe year two, give it year two, into the corporate world. I don't know why, this is a strange thing. I'd never looked at my earning capability before going into that role. I just wanted to become a project manager and didn't really think too far ahead. But it was when, okay, I'm making some money, I'm making good money, don't get me wrong, but it's now, how do we hit 6 figures? I want to forward plan. And upon researching that, I'm now finding I've got to do like 10 years, maybe hop from country to country, hop from company to company to see if I can expedite that process. But for me, that was way too long to hit 6 figures. Yeah. I knew people hitting 6 figures already a month. I'm not waiting, so I guess that's
you're
what.
Hungry for more.
Yes, exactly.
And would it be fair to say you had a realization that maybe the corporate life wasn't as cracked up as it?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I loved my role. It was a great job, great people, don't get me wrong, I couldn't fault the company. The company was amazing, great place to work. I just wanted more, and I think everyone around me was kind of happy, complacent with what they were earning, and for me, I just wanted more out of life, as simple as that. And I've always thought of property as an investment vehicle, but I never really thought of it as a business. I thought I'd maybe buy one every couple of years as I go through the corporate stages. Do you really think I can kind of go and create a business out of this and sustain myself just by building a portfolio? So that's where obviously got education in property investment.
Yeah, I know you've done a bit of education. You'd gone on some other property training and mentoring. And then you met me and we started to do some one-to-one mentoring together. Where did you feel you were lacking when you met me, and the areas in property that you needed to work on to go and get these results?
I'll tell you the story how, obviously for you guys, I guess, how I met Liam. So literally it was the most weirdest thing ever. Like, not weird, but like, it wasn't planned. So a friend invited me to come to this property, like it was like a seminar, and he was one of the speakers on stage. And I was like, who the hell is this guy? Why is he so good at speaking on public? I've never heard anyone in the UK speak so clearly like you do, and present it very concise, very clearly. I was like, no, I need to find this guy. So literally I walked up to him and was like, Liam, how can I work with you? How can we do something together? I like you as an individual. I like what you presented. And then literally, I think from there we said we'd schedule a meet up later on and just have a conversation. So we met over coffee and discussed what I'm doing in property, where I'm at. And for me, I guess the bit that I was struggling with was obviously the whole mindset of raising finance, my ability to be confident in front of investors, speaking to investors, how to position myself in front of them, handling objections. These were the issues or things I was struggling with at the time. And obviously you helped with that to overcome that.
Well, I'm glad you came to that event, because we're sitting here today, and it's crazy, isn't it, how one event, one meeting, one person, one mentor can transform and lead you down a whole different path. And as you know, I'm big on mentorship and I invest in mentors. I remember us having that one-to-one. It was in Costa Coffee here in Chelmsford. You came down and we started this journey of working together. And what I loved about working with you is if I told you to do something, you just implemented it. And then if you got stuck, you'd come back to me. And we had some really good mentoring sessions. And there's this thing out there, whenever you talk about, can you build a property business using none of your own money? The first thing that most people think about, it's a scam. No one's gonna give me the money. It's impossible and it doesn't work. And when I first heard that myself, I was pretty skeptical. However, it really does work.
It does.
And the truth is, you can build a multi-million pound property portfolio using none of your own money. So I helped you raise some money, gave you some tips, but what was your main strategy in property? Because there's loads of strategies. Can you explain what strategy you chose and why you chose that strategy, say, over something else?
Yeah, so I think starting out, it was very important for me to get very clear on what it is I wanted to get out of property. For me, there was two, I guess, deliverables or things I wanted out of property, which is one, ownership and high cash flow. And that pretty much eliminated quite a lot of the strategies. So rent to rents and stuff wasn't something I was willing to do. Buy to lets wouldn't because of the cash flow producers. So for me, it was now kind of left of HMO. People can maybe argue service accommodation, maybe like a model where you refurb the property and then run as a service accommodation unit. But for me, HMO was the go-to. So BRR, HMO, so house and multiple occupants. That was a strategy I wanted to go into, and I wanted to learn really well, become a master of it and not come in to compete. So in my investment area, I didn't want to kind of just do what everybody was doing. I wanted to stand out, be different, be recognized in that space, and attract the right level of tenants as well, with the right level of product I'm putting out there. So for me, it was getting very clear on that and going away and getting the expertise together. Because again, I didn't start from a place of, I wanted to know every single little detail about running a HMO, how it works, the nuances. No, it was about putting a team together. And I think this came through my whole corporate world, and me being a project manager and working with hundreds of engineers, building an engine. I'm not an expert in building engines. I barely know how engines work, but I have the basic knowledge, which is enough to be able to steer the team in a direction. They're the experts. If there's problems, they come up with solutions, and literally we steer, okay, this is where we need to go. I think this is the best solution. Let's go with this one, and they go away and deliver. So similar principle with my property investment journey. I wanted to find a team that I can literally instruct. They're solution oriented, they can help with the journey that I'm looking to do, and that's what I went seeking. So for me, it wasn't about working with individual trades, it was about working with construction companies who are established in that field, know what they're doing, and I'm basically in effect learning on the job, and in exchange from obviously paying a bit of premium for them to handle everything on my behalf, but with very clear goals and what we want to achieve. And I think that's the big bit.
It's a key thing, isn't it? Getting laser focused on that strategy and why you're doing it. Because otherwise, I see a lot of people, they chop and change too quickly. They, some rent to rent is suitable for some people, deal packaging is suitable for some people. So you've got to find what's going to make you tick and what your long-term vision is. And like you say, is owning assets, but also getting good cash flow. So your HMOs, you spoke about doing something to stand out in your area. Tell us how you stand out in your area.
So with people, like, for one thing, rents. Everyone's like, how are you getting these rents out of it? Like, what are you doing? And I say, look, one, I'm providing this luxury property, the finish. Like, if you've seen my YouTube videos, you'd know that I put out luxury products. We aim for young professionals, sometimes students as well. The rooms come kitted out with literally, some have kitchenette facilities within them, some have 32-inch smart TV within them, there's a 50-inch TV in the living room, the kitchen design, everything, like just everything top notch. And yes, people argue you spend a bit more money, but I'm like, I'm spending a bit more money. One, because I know the return that money will bring in terms of being able to rent the rooms quickly against my competition in the market. So yes, I'm achieving higher rents. People are willing to pay higher rents because they like what they see and don't want to lose the opportunity to live in that property. So it's kind of creating that fear of missing out as well. When tenants walk into the building, like, wow, I like what I'm seeing. Like, I like the finish, the design, the way the kitchen looks. It looks amazing, it looks homely. It's all welcoming, and therefore they're like, where do I sign? Pretty much, that's the kind of product we want to create and attract the right level of tenants.
And I think that's really important because, a lot of landlords out there are rogue landlords, or they just want to only just get by. And I think in this competitive market space, you want to be a cut above the rest. And I always talk about giving a 5-star experience in no matter what I do. If you want to be the best, you've got to invest in the best and really go above and beyond. And I take it your tenants have an experience. They don't just feel it's a bed in a room. They actually, is that right?
So even like room sizes, everyone knows I'm big. I try not to have these smaller rooms. So like, obviously the legal limit, 6.5, it depends where you are in the country, but you can have these kind of box rooms, and I feel like some of the low ceiling stuff, I want high ceilings, spacious rooms, So don't get me wrong, I'm not giving them generous, or if I am giving you generous, there are some rooms that are like 20 meters squared and stuff, but you obviously pay in the rents you're paying for that size and space you're getting. My thing as well, more importantly, as well as the reason why I wanted to kind of go high end, is I believe the market is moving towards that direction. Prior to kind of, I don't know, previously people would just kind of have a room, house share. You have 6 tenants in a house, you can have 1 bathroom, everybody shares a bathroom. Now people are kind of expecting to have bathrooms in their rooms. Some are not even expecting to have cooking facilities in their rooms because of the whole COVID as well. I think that's accelerated it. So sustainability is big for me. It's all good making money today, but can you make money in 10 years' time? Can you make money in 15 years' time? So I'm not just going to sit down as a landlord and just think I put it out there today and not look after it, because I know the market will move. So it's keeping up to date with what's happening in the market. And I think for me, I've kind of future protect that by having some rooms that are obviously en suite, or all the rooms are en suites. That some rooms have the kitchenette facility and some don't. But to be honest, if we needed to kind of change in the future, it's very simple add.
And you know, you're at 5 HMOs now.
Yeah.
We talk about cash flow. Typically, what will a HMO net you per month minus your costs, minus your mortgage?
So again, it might sound crazy, but this is what I'm achieving. I can prove it as well. so normally people say like £1,000 is kind of the general go-to mark. I'm achieving anywhere between £1,500 to £2,000, wow. 2.2 even. Wow. So just to kind of put into context, these are 6. So the 6 beds are about £1,500. The 7 beds are nearing the 2, or that's 1.8 to 2K, and then I've got 8 beds as well. So that's above the 2K mark.
And really, when you think about that, and well done, because that is sort of top end. I know for your area, definitely, probably no one's getting that. And look, here's the reality: people watching this now, people tuning in, listening in. You don't need many of them to start replacing your income. 100%. You know, if you've got, say, 3 HMOs at £1,500 a month, that's 4.5 grand. You've got people, engineers, doctors, lawyers, not making that money, and you can get them in the portfolio, fit and forget. So what happened? You got your 5. Are you still employed, or did you sack the boss?
Well, no. So the story is, COVID happened. Me being a project manager and working on future projects at Jaguar Land Rover, of the company took the decision to say, look, contractors that are working on future projects, we don't know what's happening in the future. We're going to pause our projects for now. The whole world's going to stop pretty much. So until further notice, we're going to terminate a contract. So I was literally in the middle of one of my projects, and I said, look, I can pick up another CV and go to another job, but what value add is that? Like, I'm already in this. I know what I'm doing. I've got a team established. Let's run with this. Let's make this happen. Some way, somehow, we'll make it happen. So that's what I did. I've never picked up a CV since. I was happy, well, scared and happy at the same time. It's a weird mix, because being a contractor, literally, my income went from £5 a month to 0 overnight. I'm like, okay, now I have all my time. Can I go away and create this income? Which for me, I think the whole thing is a blessing in disguise, in the sense I made it happen. Like I took the action required to make it happen. I probably could have still gone on to do the same level of work or the achievements I've achieved, maybe, who knows. But would I have given away the job? I don't know, because I'm like £5 a month, very comfortable job.
60 grand a year, it's comfortable. You can pay your bills, live a nice life, but actually, like you say, COVID coming, getting those first few deals under your belt, having that hunger and that desire to do more, want more, to keep growing, you know, sort of forced your hand really to get out of that corporate job and go full-time in property. How do you feel now being a full-time property investor?
I think, what was I waiting for? Don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place. I'm not kind of like pushing for everybody to kind of get out of the job, no. I think you can still have a job and still build a portfolio on the side. If you decide you want to, I think it's the option. If something wants to go wrong, if you were to badly get ill or injured, you've got something to fall back on. Do you get it? So you can do both if you want to, if you've got aspirations. Obviously, I wanted to kind of get into the business world, get property. I'm looking at buying businesses now. So I always wanted to do more outside of the corporate world. So for me, naturally, someday, some way, I was always going to leave. Just time would have tell, I guess, when that would have happened. But for me, I can't look back. I say now I'm unemployable. Like there's nothing you can offer me that would get me back in the corporate role. I feel like I've added enough value to myself through mentoring, going on courses. I'm a big advocate for spending on yourself to level yourself up. that I can create enough value to be able to exchange. People wanted to pay for my time, money, whatever, and I can go away and build businesses or build something which is more valuable to me than working in that corporate job.
Awesome. Let's talk about raising money, because it's a huge block for a lot of people when they get started. And actually, this is my view, raising money is one of the easiest things to do. That's just for me personally. Some people find deals more easier, but actually once you know how to do it once, it's no different than driving a car. You learn and you get better and better and better. So you literally had to use other people's money to get this success. Where did you find your first investor and how much did they give you?
The story of me starting to raise money. So I learned this thing called creative finance, which is about being able to borrow money from individuals, creating a value exchange whereby you're giving them a better return than what they're currently getting in the bank. And for me, when I sat in that classroom and I heard that, I was like, whoa, like that was a mind-blowing moment for me. So I then already quickly, this is why I think for me, I was always going to get in the business world. I knew people that needed money. So there's an event space back in Coventry. I knew a promoter who's very established, been doing it for 8-9 years. His bigger problem is getting enough capital to hire artists to come perform at these university events. So I'm like, okay, cool. I know people at work who have money, sat there doing nothing. This guy needs money. I can be the person in between. I would raise the funds. He would go away, deliver on the events. We both split profits. We pay back the investor with their returns. Happy days. So my first step, I think, was like maybe 10K. Built that up over time. So literally did events for a good maybe 18 months. In parallel, learning about property investment in the background. So that's what built my credibility in terms of being able to borrow money on time. Because these are like short-term loans.
You actually borrowed money for a completely different business to
different complete business to start with. Got it to 50K and I was like, okay, great, we're making lump sums of money from this event, it's all good. But with events, obviously the event doesn't happen, you don't make any money. If the event goes south, you potentially lose money. So it is high risk but high reward as well. But I said, look, we want something more sustainable where it's recurring income each month, which is for me, it's obviously property. I've learned the stuff in a position where I can confidently go away and deliver on these deals. So it's now getting back in front of these same investors who actually I then told, by the way, obviously we've done this amazing thing for the last 18 months, we're making money, returned it great. Obviously you've seen me going on to property courses, mentoring, you've seen the work I put into getting into property. And I'm like, can we now obviously stop the events, and go into property? And they said, well, if you give me the money, all I'm going to do is put it back in the bank. So Alfred, I trust you. You've been delivering for the last 18 months. I'm confident you've been going through the right steps to go and do well in property as well. So we'll back you again. And that's what allowed me to then start using the money into property.
I think that's a great point, right? It doesn't matter what you need money for. Business, ideas, growing your business, property, investing. The reality is there's lots of money out there. It's not gone anywhere. People are sitting on a lot of cash. They don't know what to do with it. And as long as you show them that return. So am I right in saying that the money you've borrowed from private funders to build your HMOs, has that been on a loan agreement? So you've not done a profit share?
No.
Because there's two main ways. Profit share with high net worth sophisticated investors, or what I prefer, simple loan notes.
So all of it has been loan agreements. And again, it's getting very clear. And I think you see this thread of me wanting to be very clear on what I set out to achieve. I'm not just thinking about making money today or building business for today. My principle was, if I'm borrowing investment from people, I know I've got long-term plans to do other things. So I need to own that property portfolio outright. I haven't got to ask a business partner about selling this portfolio, or they even coming to me and said, Alfred would like to sell the property because I need to inject capital. So I needed this to be my foundation because I know I've got bigger things I want to achieve in life. So for me, when borrowing money, it's always been on a loan agreement. You get a fixed return. Whether I perform, don't perform, whatever happens, your return's fixed. You're getting, I don't use the word guaranteed in life, but you're getting a return on the money. However I perform, it doesn't matter. So for you, as an investor, you're sitting back and getting literally this. I've had investors say these words to me, Alfred, this is the most passive income I've ever received in my life. I did absolutely nothing and I've made this money and it's literally coming every single month on time, no problems whatsoever. And that's what helped me go on to obviously build more and be able to raise more money.
That's great. So you're at 1.1 million now. Anyone tuning into this, the people that follow me and want to do this, where can they find the money?
everyone thinks that there's this magic room you go walk into a building, you walk into and this, don't get me wrong, anywhere you walk into has money. Like there's money everywhere. There's no shortage of money. Do not feel like you only have one option of raising money. I think it's all about positioning. I think obviously I learned this from you, putting yourself out there to attract. I not even necessarily even making the point of I need funds for this deal or whatever. It's about you creating a story to this outside world saying, look, I'm this individual who's on a journey to build a property portfolio. You can add value to these people by the form of them borrowing money to you and them getting a better return than they're currently getting. And it's like planting a seed in someone's head. They can hear it for the first time and not really get it, or hear it and think, okay, sounds interesting. But the more and the consistency of you keep doing that same thing, putting that message out there, they keep seeing it. It's the same as like seeing a leaflet come through your door. You're not going to pay attention the first time. You keep hearing it, keep seeing it, and more importantly, when the person starts to deliver on what they're saying they're doing, that's the trigger point. I think for most people, that's the bit where they say, okay, this stuff is real. It's not. He's not just saying I'm doing. He's actually building the portfolio. He's documenting the journey of good and bad of what's going on with that journey, and that's when then when they feel comfortable, they approach and say, look, Alfred, I've got some money here. What can we do with this? How can you be of help?
Where can people hook you up?
So Alfred Jade, anywhere, like Instagram is where I mainly play at these days. Instagram, LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, YouTube as well, check it out. I showcase my projects from start to finish, some educational stuff and some podcast stuff on there as well. So
great.
Check it out, yeah.
Cool, man. Thanks for coming down, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Wow, there we go. Alfred, what an amazing individual, amazing results. If he can do it, you can definitely do it. Thanks for tuning in to this latest episode on my channel. Make sure you smash the like button, leave us a comment below, and ensure that you hit subscribe so you can stay tuned for more videos that are released on a weekly basis. See you in the next video. Take care.